to a BPM approach with a question of, this is the way we tried, what is next? So you definitely need the environment to address such a question. There's 4 challenges there. Get the highest number of people involved from various departments with all the knowledge that may underlie within the organization or as external consultants or implementers. Somehow verifying that information, getting the right information. And the thing that we said before is to prioritize the business and implement what it is crucial and has the biggest impact on the company first, and leverage then. And we're not gonna discuss that. It's practically a mapping of the OMG standards onto the Zachman framework. So we can see the various tools and methodologies per area and how they map on that. And very quickly move to the business process ontology, which is a breakdown, again, of the enterprise. I actually discovered a very interesting paper. It's a kind of it's some kind of master thesis by a Brazilian guy, which actually breaks down a lot of questions to real things, real day-to-day things. Breaks down architecture to business functions, and he's also using that ontology-based approach. And he again classifies relations and processes, different layers. So this is the part I'm still working on, but it is quite interesting and it's rich information in there I would like to include. What we will see here is it's a scheme from the Harvard Business Review. It's addressed and it's called Find Your Model T for the organization. So the question is, you must find the one-size-fits-all service, product, or application, and you follow these steps with the current business system, then with a definition of the new or the extended requirements, and then you really go to the next step and you understand the complexity part and the innovation part. So it's a time of decision of where you are more into innovation or you compromise a little bit. The proposition, which is the next one, discusses value chains and value nets. It's basically an argument, different viewpoint, let's say, of the business, rather the business ecosystem, where the value chain is the classical Porter's approach, with the core businesses and the supporting activities, the supporting actions, processes, which is fine if you see the organization isolated, that you actually can streamline processes like supply chain and logistics and all issues within your organization. The value nets, which is something emerging, is discussing synergies and is discussing how you incorporate parts that they are outsourced or parts that somebody who is cooperating with you or a business associate is implementing, and how you associate that so to streamline your processes. So what products or services you offer without controlling the resources. And IBM is actually using a component business model methodology, which is, this is a simplified short with the advantages and disadvantages of both terms. They're not suggesting either value nets or value chain, but there's definitely some kind of justification that business have to take. So value nets are best fit when you do business with other. Value chain can control your own business. And okay, we're not going to elaborate on that. Business maps is like the organizational map. The scheme is taken from SAP. It's a business map for the ERP solution they offer. This is breaking down, and in fact, this is associated to the enterprise, so a model in our days. So there's business maps for all the products, for the ERP, the CRM, the MDM, the master data management product, and the BI and BW product. And I'm sure that the same is happening with Oracle and with other vendors, even for hardware and product vendors such as Cisco. And the question here is that there was too much standardization. So every company that was adapting an ERP solution, for example, it could easily go to a generic ERP implementation or to a specialized application, let's say for chemicals or for automotive. If you combine that with the outsourcing of this business, this is tricky because what it is core and what would be regarded as your competitive advantage is probably outsourced. So there's a question there. Are you losing your competitive advantage, or what we're suggesting here is we have business maps for everything, and the market is mature enough, and then the model is outsource it through a service level agreement or with to a vendor. That this is a big question. So there's a justification point here as well. How much you adapt of standards, of standard business maps. And the other thing I found interesting, it is huge, it is even huger than the Zachman framework, is the adoption of the RUP into the enterprise. So they're talking about some disciplines here. I will read them. It's the enterprise application discipline, is the people management discipline, operation and support discipline, enterprise business modeling difference, and portfolio management discipline, the service use, which is close to that of the SOA, the administration of the enterprise, and the software process improvement. So we see that all kind of methodologies, they have some common denominator. We can see easily here a project management approach, at least from how SOA projects are carried out or proposed to be carried out. and how they relate to architectural issues such as SOA and frameworks such as Zachman's. The next chapter, how are we doing with time? Okay. It's regarding the management of the BPM, and there's actually that bipolar between IT and management, which is taking business decisions. The highlights here is that a common language, again, should be developed from the implementation part and from the business need aspect. The situation today says that senior management mostly focuses on specific businesses and lines within the organization. So it's a functional or departmental approach, which is not really helping out the adoption of SOA and what is emerging. So again, it's a question mark of how you educate the upper management, senior management, or how you persuade. When we talk about SOA implementations, we're talking about years, and technology advances very fast. And when you do your techno-economics, you are not really able to justify where to stop and where to start. And again, here, what they have tried to do is they try to put that capability maturity model of an organization and try to relate to the various methodologies, the example of the ITIL methodologies, with the transformation and the implementation detail as axes. I think this is a joint effort between OMG and CMU. It's quite interesting. We're not going to go into that. It's the usage model. It's the real application of such an approach by Intel, which they're discussing about compelling products. And they try to say that compelling products are really the successful ones and the ones that they last long and kind of secure success. And if you relate that to the Moore's curve, you could see that the early stages are they more related to technology, and maybe the middle stage mostly into users, and then the business part. So it's not only at the center, but you might find compelling products towards any of the circles mostly. Okay, this is the last part, the financial part, which discusses the outsourcing and the service level agreements and management. And it's AMR extracts. It's a little bit old, but definitely shows trends that they're increasing, and considerable ones. The other hot issue is the software as a service offerings that vendors are offering today. And if you relate that with a very quick and abstract economic table, you can focus on the areas, and then you can probably analyze and elaborate the specific case of your businesses. The final one is a catalog with some estimations, which they claim that they're very conservative estimations of what businesses could gain, and it rounds up to a $10 million amount. We will have more detail on that. It's basically adapting a service catalog when you're implementing ITIL in your businesses. Conclusion. Documenting and implementing business processes of an organization form a huge challenge since there are many issues to address, such as effectiveness, efficiency, integrity of data and information, timeliness, scalability, compatibility, and openness. The final deliverables should address the expectation of sponsor and users, management, and the workforce. It should answer with a persuasive manner real case day-to-day scenarios. It somehow should be resistant to critique, transparent and understandable, and at the same time easily adaptable in a changing environment. Businesses are changing rapidly today. It should be able to accommodate additional and alternate requirements with minimal costs, time and effort. We believe that business process analysis tools and business process modeling tools, even applications, MS Office applications such as Visio, they're on that track. Probably the business analysis tools and the business modeling tools. The problem is that they require a lot of training. They require installations, huge installations. They're not really open. The workflow and the notation, it is standardized, but I mean the actual suite should be installed, so a question mark there as well. Faster and less expensive process creation through process component reuse. We discussed that. We're discussing about services. We need the engagement of owners, process owners, business owners, monitoring. And this is the way to evolve, and this is the way to address more problems that are obviously coming continuously. So thank you. I overdid it, I think. Is there anything that we would like to discuss?
Any questions? No questions.
So
let me ask you one thing. Are you aware of any situation where this business process modeling has been implemented, or larger comparison like IBM? Do they really practice?
IBM is offering through WebSphere that kind of implementation.
But do they actually use it in-house? Or you're probably...
I have seen implementation in companies which they're using parts of it. I have not personally seen a business process modeler transforming the business processes into code and then to a service, and mostly to a service that it is reused.
Service component use this.
We've seen that in the example of Intel. With a platform approach. It is such an example. I think we were discussing that in class. They have a certain policy that with the usage model, they do that. I guess maybe it's more visible into the hardware industry still. Maybe Cisco is using that with their products. You see they're coming with various products. So maybe it's not the case with software and business process, maybe because the requirements are never put down clearly. So they're a bit vague, so a little bit hard to
model.
model. And then, obviously, the model transforms that to code. We've not seen that I have not seen that in, at least.
Another is the business process ontology developed by this guy in
This
Brazil.
Oscar Barros guy is very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Have you seen anything extend beyond the boundaries of a single enterprise? That is, ontologies describing an entire market? Or
They are.
They are.
These open standards guys here, like the HRXML, yes, and that consortia, they're offering market-specific applications. Like I've seen the HRXML standards. They're very detailed, and we were actually applying that with Thanasis Theopanis to that ontology-based hiring system. They're quite mature, and they also in that that Oasis thing is. I found most of the ETOM mappings there for standard processes ready and quite close to what the requirements were of Hellas Online, for example. It was almost there, and they quite matching that business maps of SAP. What they call it, ontology, and implementation is probably machine independent, platform independent. So it is there. Maybe we are very away of.
Thank you very much, and
Thank
congratulations on a well done job.
Thank you.
On a very interesting topic, that of business process modeling, and a very comprehensive treatment of that. Thank you very much.